No problem, Kathy. And this is, of course, an experiment. The idea is those, and I'm going to show you where I got the supplies in bulk discount, is that you could probably do some of this stuff as remote programming. And the fun with LED crafting is, those of you who've been to Makerpalooza, last year we did cards and we were really kind of like, we're going to do a card, but then really an LED crafting project can be anything. So this is a really flexible thing to do for your, with your users. And you can do this not just as a Zoom live program like this, but you can even just do this as a recording and then post it to Facebook or do a Facebook Live or share a video doing YouTube and then have people share their crafts. So you don't really need to do this live. It does make it a little more fun, especially if you're doing something like with the teen group, you can get them to maybe talking while they're crafting and interacting with each other. So these are just a couple samples of what I did. This is my little Valentine's Day card, and this is my bouquet of flowers that I was working on. So I know you're thinking, oh my gosh, well, I only got one LED light, but this is the basics of instructions. So those of you who want to move your keyboards out of the way so you can start to do this, is you take the cardstock paper and you are going to make a circuit. And this, I'm going to just move over to annotation here so that you can see my mouse a little bit better. So you want to kind of map out what you want to do, but in essential is you're going to take your LED light, figure out where you want it on your piece of paper, and the longer line, if you look at your LED, there's, I don't know if you guys can see this. Let me hold it really close up to the thing. One is a tiny bit taller than the other one. So the longer one is your positive. And then when you look at your battery, you know, there's the positive and negative on your battery. So the positive has to hook up to the positive and the negative. And just like that, you have a light. So you don't need anything more than that. That's really in the essentials what you need. But using the copper tape, you're able to make a design so you can spread this out, because this is not a really practical thing to have walking around. And if you create this sort of bendable section on your paper, it's a light that can turn on and off so that you can have things like I taped everything up, like with, like this, when I bring this over and overlap it, it lights up the, and then I make my little Valentine. So you can start to do things like that. And that way your light isn't always on in because these lights don't last 100 years. If you were going to give it as a gift or you were actually giving it as a card, they could actually turn it off and then turn it on, and then your battery is on. So this is the essentials. I want to just here, I'm going to click on this link real quick and put this in the chat box. I'm going to put these slides on that Makerpalooza page afterwards for you. I have lots of links in here. But this is basically where these instructions come from. There's instructions all over the internet on how to do this. So you can see if you turn the light, I'm pointing to my screen like you can see, through the paper, you can do things like that snowman. Does that make sense to everybody? And then have the sort of hardware behind it. So I'm going to let you guys start. Sure, I think, let me find out. Let me see if I do it.
They sent us a sign for the yeah. They sent us a sign for the holiday. I think we should just put it up now.
Okay, yeah.
I'll send it.
Can you see that a little bit better? Is that a little bigger? Okay. Yep, and you can just click on the site too. That corner, you're just gonna bend. So you're gonna take the copper tape. I find personally when I'm doing this, the smaller square that I make, the better it works. The larger square, and you can cut that paper, do whatever you want with that piece of paper you received. This doesn't need to be on cardstock. Cardstock is just a little better because it's heavy. But you could do this on construction paper. You could do this on just regular copy paper, anything that you have handy. So I wanted to, as we're doing this, as you guys are working, I wanted to show you a couple little things. First, again, the smaller the square, the better I found it works. The longer that copper tape is, first of all, I start to get it all tangled in my fingers. But the smaller it is, I find that the current goes through a little bit better and works a little bit more simply. If you're having some issues, a couple things to look at is if the tape crosses itself, your current can get messed up. So you want to make sure you're in this square shape. It doesn't have to be perfect square, but you want to make sure that you're not overlapping because then it starts to get confused. So this is for you guys. I'm going to put this up in the Makerpalooza afterwards, but this is all of the instructions. There's lots of different things you can use here. So I give you a couple different versions of it so that you can find the one that works best for your users. And again, right when we finish this, I'm going to stick this slideshow up into that Makerpalooza page so that you have access to it. Yeah, let me try and do that with you guys. Let's do that. I'm a little worried about my webcam, but we can see what we can do. And I put on my, where did I put it? So I am taking my paper. I'm just going to make a small square. And again, you can use any shape of paper that you want. Next, I'm going to take my copper. And the copper, if you saw, there's all of you probably got the copper wire wrapped around different things. So I was a little worried about it transferring, but all you need to do is wrap it around something secure. So a pencil, popsicle sticks, anything that you have around your library would be a good way to have this transported to your users. So the tape, you have to kind of split it off. And then you're going to make your little outline of a shape. And you can see I left 2 little holes. And one side I left the copper tape kind of hanging so I can put the battery on that side.
Is it possible to make your circuit a little bit bigger so we can see what you did? I'm sorry.
Oh, no, let me see if I can. Trying to see how I can make my webcam. Is my webcam a little bit bigger for you?
So it's got two holes.
Yep, and then I have the hole down here for the LED light, and up here I have sort of a piece of copper tape hanging, and I'm going to put the battery up there. But if you wanted to do that sort of corner thing, you would put that hole for the battery in the bottom corner.
Okay, if you're going to poke your battery through.
The LED light through, you mean?
Yeah. Would you have the circuit, like if you wanted to pop through on the front, like would you have your circuit on like the opposite, like the back?
Yeah, that's what I would do. So like if I wanted this to be through, I would put like the little hole right here. I'm gonna cut my finger now, watch. Okay, yep. All right. So I just made a little hole, and then I would put the light through that way. So the light's on, oops, the light's on this side, and this is on this side with the legs. Does that make sense?
Does it make more sense to pop it through and then do your circuit? Probably.
Probably, because you can figure out where your legs are and you know it's in the right place.
Now comes the part where I'm like terrible at stabbing things.
That's why, yeah, I know. That's why I had to pull out the the first couple times I've done this, I always try and poke it through with the LED light, and it's not strong enough with the LED paper. So I find like a little scissor or pencil will do it.
Let's see if my scissors are sharp enough. Catherine's already got hers going. She's kicking some butt.
She's a pro. She is a pro.
I almost gave up. I almost gave up.
I almost always give up, Kathy. I will tell you that with this project, I always start and then I start to be like something's defective, and then I pull it together.
Good morning. Oh, hang on.
Computer you put a ticket in about?
Yes. Oh, hang on, guys. I'll be back.
So I tried to play with it a little bit remotely, but it's just resetting itself to that same setting.
Sorry.
So I'm just gonna take it back, re-image it, and I'll
So one of the secrets to do is really make sure that tape is holding stuff, that copper tape. Sometimes I put Scotch tape over it to holding everything down, because the better the connection there, the better everything is going to work.
Are we taping down the battery too?
Huh?
Are we taping down the battery also?
Well, what I did over here is I put the battery, I keep posting it to the webcams, and said on the little piece of tape I had dangling.
Okay.
And then when I put it together, it lights it up.
Okay.
Okay.
So when it's all together, the little light will be showing. And then if I lift this, it doesn't.
All right.
Excuse me, do you mind if I say something?
Oh no, go right ahead.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm just trying to figure out where we are with this thing. First of all, I can only see you in really small, so I don't know if there's a way I can see a larger.
Let me see. Does that help you?
No.
If you on your Zoom, you have I think you can pull me a little bit bigger.
Okay,
If you click on view, you want to do speaker view.
right.
And then I think you can make me a little bit bigger.
Slightly. But I'm not sure if I'm doing, I've kind of gotten the steps out of order a little bit, so.
Let me go back to the image here. So this is what this looks like that I'm doing here. But
so this is sorry.
Oh,
Okay.
go ahead. I'm going to come back here so you can see sort of the actual instructions on how to do it.
Yeah, that would help. So this is as far as I've gotten. I did was I supposed to put the tape over this?
Hold on, I don't see. So Rachel, you're gonna need to do a connection. So you'll do the tape underneath it as well, and then connect it to, so you can see my battery is right here in the middle. So hold on one second. Let me.
I think I need to just, whoop.
So on this screen, you see how there's tape on the top, but there's also tape on the bottom, so that you're making a connection. You want it to be so that the positive LED talks to the positive battery and the negative talks to the negative, and it makes a complete circuit.
Okay, I think I just need to go back to the instructions and start from the
Okay.
beginning, because I'm not sure. There we go. Yeah. Where, let's see.
So you want to make like a square with 2 gaps in it.
Okay.
And then on one gap, put the LED light, and then put the legs underneath the tape. And on the other one, put the battery with one side on top and one side on the bottom.
Yeah, I think I want to just, let's see. Sorry, I don't mean to hold everybody.
Oh, no. This is all we're doing. So we have plenty of time. And I'm sure other people are in their offices cursing me. They just don't want to tell me.
I'm just trying to follow these instructions here, but they're really hard to see.
There is, in the chat box, I put them as a link so you can actually get to the instructions on your computer and not have to look at them through me.
And your instructions are different than what you actually did.
Yeah, I just didn't do this corner. Because what you would do is just put the battery in the corner.
Mhm.
And then when you folded the paper, you would put it together.
Okay.
I'm not that coordinated to do that, holding it up. Deb, welcome. We're going to start the keynote at in about 20 minutes. So you get to relax until then and laugh at our crafting.
To chop the copper, like to cut out like the piece that, so that, and then like overlap it, or will that, rather than trying to like bend this,
Right.
is that okay as long as
Yep,
they
that's definitely okay to do.
very small circuit.
Yep, I think on my corners, one is cut and one was a turn by myself. So these, this is like my camera's in opposite. The legs are underneath the tape over on this side, and then the battery is up here. And if I let go of the battery, it opens and closes.
Is installing a switch to this a way more complicated process?
It is going to add some complication to it. I mean, you definitely could do that, especially if you were doing a bigger craft.
How do you turn a corner with the tape so that it makes a nice sharp corner? Do you have to cut it and then?
You can cut it, or I kind of bend it and pull it, but sometimes cutting is easier.
Okay.
You just want to make sure it doesn't like overlap and go off into the distance.
And then do you have to do the entire thing of paper, or can it just be a section?
As small as you want to make it. It doesn't have to be any size.
Oh, got it. Okay.
Yeah. Yep. My paper is only the size of my hand. I cut my paper in half.
Okay.
Are you bending the legs so they touch the copper when you're doing it?
Yep, they have to be, I put them underneath the copper.
Okay.
So
I have one.
I'm gonna get out of presentation mode with this so I can zoom. Sorry, hold on. I'm gonna try this.
Tiny legs.
Something beneath there.
No, that's not gonna work. I wanna.
Should both legs be under the
Yep, one is gonna go one way and one is gonna go the other way.
so if I bend it like they're doing the splits?
Yep, you want it to be like this. And that
Okay.
longer side needs to be the side that connects to the A side of the battery.
Swivel.
I'm trying to make this as big as possible. So on here, you can see she used Scotch tape on top, but I put mine under the bottom. Oh, Roberta's got hers. I love it. She's got the snowman. And Rachel has a snowman as well. Awesome.
And there was a Christmas tree too.
Yes. You can do so many things with this craft. As we're kind of going through it, I'm going to just kind of go through here just to show you what else is in here.
There we go. So plus side of the battery.
Susanna's got hers done, and Donella, Rachel, Melissa's got hers. Please share if you want to send, put them on Twitter. If you want to send me an email, this is my email address. I can put them all up so we can share with each other. So these are different crafts that some school kids did. You can see how elaborate you can make this and how simple you can make this, which makes it a really good craft because you can figure out your audience and then sort of make it vary accordingly. So LED creatures, if you have really smart, better kids, I could not, I will tell you, I'm the worst origami person. I wanted to do this frog for us today and I could not make the frog. After several attempts, and I decided that it was better just to leave it alone. But you can make little frogs that when you press them, the lights light up. You can do things like that. There's my flowers and here's some really nice person's. Corinna's got hers. I love the heart. And it lights up. You light up my life. It's the perfect Valentine's.
Is that working? No.
Oh, that's great. Rachel, if you saw what Corinna did, she didn't even make the full square. She made it so it's a line, and when she folds the paper, it comes together. Trying to find, I just wanted to tell you guys in here. So I did want to share this with you. This slide is a lot, but this is the, oh, Kathy, I got it. I think, yep. this is the supplies that I found. There's a lot of different, when you go on Amazon, there's a lot of other options out there. But this is where I found the 4-pack of copper tape is not very expensive. I think it was less than $10. And all of us combined used, so 100 supply kits. I don't think I finished all 4. I think I had a little bit left over. So there's a lot of tape, and I gave, I think, several feet of tape to, several inches of tape, I think 12 or 15 inches to everybody. The LED lights, I bought a 600 pack. So for the rest of my life, I have LED lights. And you can see here, of course, now it was available yesterday and it's not today. It was less than $10. I'm sure Amazon will have it back again tomorrow because that's how it works. The copper tape, I bought it on Amazon. So I'm putting all of these links here. I'm not saying these are the best versions of all of this. This is just the one that I bought. So this 4-pack of copper tape was $13.98.
Yeah.
The batteries, I bought 40 pieces, 40 batteries on Amazon for $10. So you can do this craft for not very much per person, which is one of the reasons we picked it, because it's a practical thing that you could do. I will tell you, for this project, the most expensive part of all of the supplies was the shipping, which you guys wouldn't have if you were doing it as a make and take at your library branch, because you could do pickup. But shipping all over Florida was a little expensive. And then cardstock paper you can get anywhere. You can always find deals for that, tape, scissors, and that's really all they need. And you can get more elaborate, you can get better paper, you can get theme paper, and things like that as you do this.
So I have a question.
Sure.
I think this is as far as I've gotten here. How do I get this coin to stick? Do I have to glue it, or do
No,
I?
you're going to want to cut the copper tape and have one part on top of it and one part underneath.
One part of the copper tape on top of the coin?
Yep. One top on top of the battery and one top part underneath it, because you're trying to make a square so everything connects.
Okay.
The one thing you're going to want to do is kind of cut off those legs that go off into the distance on your square.
Well, as I can see, there's only, let's see. So you mean like to put it in like this?
Yeah, because if the wire kind of comes, oops, my webcam's over here. If you have the wire come down, the current doesn't know where to go. So you want it to know that it has to stay in the square.
Right, but I'm just trying to figure out how to attach this coin.
So I have part of the battery on top is taped to the top, and then it leans on top of the.
Oh, so it just kind of hangs there?
Yeah, and then you could put a piece of tape there if you wanted, once it's there. But you want to have the copper tape on top and underneath.
Mm.
You need to just kind of cut the copper tape. You can probably do it with your fingernail and then just kind of push it on top and on the
Should
bottom.
I cut another little bit and put it right here then?
What I would do is put and then connect it, put a little tiny bit underneath
Like right
there.
here?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, thank you.
Corinne is saying I actually folded the copper kind of back onto itself to stick it to the bottom of the battery.
Does the copper have to, because I made this circuit, but it doesn't seem, when I put the battery up to it, it doesn't seem like it's working.
So if you need to test it, just do the LED light and the battery by itself. Like if you just hold it like this, it should work. If you're worried that it's the battery. And just make sure the positive is on the positive and the negative is on the negative. And that longer arm is the positive.
This is Amy. Can I just say something quick?
Sure, please do.
That you can use Scotch tape over top of everything and it doesn't interrupt the flow of the electricity or interrupt the circuit. So you can use Scotch tape to kind of hold things down once you get working.
Yes, but yep, you have to make that connection first and then you put Scotch tape over it to kind of lock it in. Great point.
So essentially, when you go like this should light up.
Yeah, I'm trying to see. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're gonna want to cut that little leg off the bottom. That's kind of shooting out.
This one here, cut that one off?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
just trim it so it's nice.
Yeah.
And then, okay.
And then we'll make sure that you have your positive and your positive and your negative and negative lined up. But cut that little piece off first to see if that helps.
Okay.
Mine might be the LED or the battery because I tried to attach the legs to it and it didn't work. But did I do the circuit right at least?
Your circuit looks perfect. That's why I was kind of wondering. So I'm really sorry that it doesn't work. You got a defective one.
Oh, well. As long as I did it correctly and hopefully I can reproduce it down the line.
Rachel, is it lighting up?
No.
No. Try it. Flip the battery and see if you have the battery upside down.
This one or
No,
this
the battery. One? Yeah.
Is it supposed to have the plus sign facing out?
Well, the plus side needs to correspond with the long arm of the LED light.
Right, but should the plus sign be facing the paper or facing away from the paper?
It depends on how you put your LED light.
Okay.
So if it doesn't work for me, I always try it the other way to see if that's what's going to happen, if that helps.
Okay, so I can try putting it the other way and see.
Yeah, just see what happens.
Okay.
Oh, well, we tried.
No.
No.
It probably, because I probably just did a messy job just getting, there's probably too many interruptions.
Yeah, and make sure, like, I find that sometimes I have to like really run my hand over the LED, the tape where the LED is to make sure that it's really firm, firmly in there.
This is probably something I'll have to do a few times before I can get it to work.
And I do think Swiftland might have an extra bag or two. If you needed more supplies, you might be able to contact them and see if you could stop by.
I'm sure I could.
Taylor right now is like throwing her fist at me. That's why she has.
Sure, I can order more of these supplies and practice. It's probably I just didn't do a neat enough job on this one, so that's probably why it's just not lighting up.
It's one of those things, Rachel, the first couple times I did this, I was sure that everything was defective and I was like, and then all of a sudden it was like, I got it. Right. It works. So it does take a little bit of time. And during lunch, I'm going to be here. If you want to try again, we can kind of work on this stuff over lunch hour if you want.
Thank you. Okay.
Okay.
We'll all be running out to Walmart to get more supplies.
Okay, so I see some of you shared your pictures in here, so I'm downloading them now, and I'll make sure we share them in the Makerpalooza, on that Makerpalooza page. Oh my God, that reindeer is adorable. I love it. Yeah, Anthony, sorry, I missed your question. The positive leg of the LED is slightly longer. Oh my gosh, I got Rudolph now. That is absolutely too
Oh,
Rudolph.
lovely.
You guys are much more talented than I am.
I was lucky that I had an extra piece of paper here to make my snowman. And he's messy.
I love him though. Look at that.
I added arms.
I will tell you, I was trying to make a person and this is like my sad, I just gave up. He has a little bit light up nose. The possibilities are really, there's so many. So I am showing 4 minutes till everybody is supposed to be back. So that